This is Movietone. Leslie Mitchell reporting. Proceeding under her own steam until tugs took her in tow off Falmouth, the 8,000-ton American farmer reaches Britain, badly holed on the port side. After a collision in the Atlantic, the farmer had been abandoned by her crew. She was taken over by the British ship Elizabete. Exactly what happened at sea after this still has to be thrashed out. The fact is, however, that men from the American Ranger had taken over, got the farmer's engines going, and brought her into Falmouth. For days, the story had been making headline news, and the greatest interest was naturally aroused by the arrival of the farmer with a cargo of dried eggs and other food. Captain Johnston, master of the Ranger, comes ashore with Hans Heather, his chief officer, and Mr. Kane, chief engineer. Terry Cotter of Movietone met them.
Was there a struggle for possession of the ship? Did you?
No.
None at all? Was there a fight?
No fight.
No.
I'm chief officer of the American Ranger. I was in charge of the boarding party on the American Farmer. We went aboard, we done what we were supposed to do. We got the ship into port the quickest and possible way. It was merely a job to us. It was a menace to the sea. We had to get it into port as fast as possible before other ships were damaged. That is all. There was no legal technicalities as far as I'm concerned. It was just another job.
We brought the ship back for the U.S. lines, and we put the American flag on her.
And here's the British cargo ship Elizabete, 2,000 tons, on her way into Barry in South Wales. She's commanded by Captain Millers, a Latvian who looks as if he'd stepped right out of a Joseph Conrad story. As you see, the Elizabete was carrying a big cargo of pit props which she'd brought over from Prince Edward Island. The fourth ship in the story, the one that was in collision with the farmer, is the American William J. Riddle, seen in a graving dock nearby. Captain Millers of the Elizabete must have been relieved to find when his ship docked that solicitors were there to meet him, and although he's reported as having said, "I am very angry, oh by jingo," he was certainly looking quite cheerful as he and his officers walked towards the mic. His chief officer is his son, and together they displayed the red ensign which they flew in the American Farmer before it was hauled down. And this is the hawser alleged to have been cut while the farmer was under tow. Captain Millers parried all questions.
Look this way, Captain, to this camera.
Oh, I see. I go look on the ladies.
This is all he would tell us.
Well, I can say nothing at present, and thank you very much for your reception.